I watch The Office. The Office was the favorite series.
It's quite nice.
There's this one scene that Michael is on top of a building. He threatens to jump.
Yes.
Then I think they've done something with Dwight. And then it's an act. Then
Dwight was like jump, or someone said jump.
Was like, jump. So Michael saying, "I'm depressed. I have to jump on top of the building." Then Dwight is like, "What's depression? I'm depressed. What's depression?" And then Dwight is it like a fancy word of saying I'm bummed out?
Yeah.
So what's depression?
One thing, a lot of people think depression is sadness, and that's not the case. Depression is quite, it's a serious, very serious mental illness or mental disorder. With depression, you find the person can start to have suicidal thoughts, and it's not that they're looking for these thoughts. They just happen to start, manifesting. The mood is very low persistently. A lot of the time, it can be more than 2 weeks. It can even last for 6 months. There's feelings of hopelessness, there's feelings of worthlessness, there's feeling fatigue. Your sleep can be also affected. Either you're sleeping too much or you're not sleeping
enough.
But your day-to-day functioning is affected, and it's caused by, there's a biological component. In your brain there's chemicals. There's 3 chemicals that are like the operating systems of the brain. I'll just name them. There's dopamine, serotonin, and noradrenaline.
Yes.
So these chemicals are supposed to be balanced for your mood to be stable. And a stable mood is happiness, euthymia ni kama 5 out of 10. You're not happy, you're not sad. Happiness, euthymia, sadness. That's a stable mood. Now when it goes past sadness, that's what we call depression. And that means those chemicals are imbalanced. That's why you find people are given medication, antidepressants also, just to stabilize those chemicals, and then now those symptoms start to go. So suicide is a symptom. It's a symptom of depression. A lot of people feel like it's a choice or it's a character thing, but it's a symptom of depression, because when people get better, those thoughts start to go away.
And speaking of symptoms, or from whatever you've mentioned, I'm sure like most of us have experienced 1 or 2 of these symptoms you've mentioned. What qualifies me as depressed? Because sometimes I haven't, but some people have had suicidal thoughts, but maybe they're not depressed. I've had like sadness. I've had like these symptoms you've mentioned. But what shows that now I'm depressed? If these symptoms persist for 2 weeks and above. If for 2 weeks you're feeling this way, and by the way, if you've experienced suicidal thoughts, most likely you were depressed. It may have been for a shorter duration, or it may have been situational, but like, because there's situational depression and there's clinical depression. Clinical nile, that it's just very persistent. Situational is based on life events like loss or change, and then once those life events have been sorted, you find the person starts to feel better. But the duration, if for 2 weeks and above you're feeling those symptoms, then you're likely experiencing depression. Still on depression, do you know somebody called Andrew Tate?
I've heard of him. He's a very controversial guy.
His take on depression is, yes, you can feel depressed. But for him, and I think wase wengi wanagree na yeye ama kuna different, like people have different opinions about depression. For him, depression, like yes, you can feel depressed when you're going through something, when you're going through a loss of someone, when you've lost a job, you can go through depression. It's okay. But he doesn't feel that depression is a disease that somebody can be diagnosed that yes, you're depressed and you need medication or you need What do you have to say about your take?
I disagree. I mean, I think what he's talking about is situational depression. Situational is that one a life event has caused it or has contributed, but there are those people who I mean, I've had narratives of many people telling me I've not had any trigger, you know, and I just feel persistent sadness. I feel like suicidal. Like everything may be going right in their lives, but they're still depressed. And that one, there's a chemical imbalance for sure. Also, I mean, evidence that shows that there's there's been a lot of research done, CT scans, brain studies, you know, neuroanatomy that has been done to study brains, and this you can see there's a change, there's a difference in a depressed brain and a brain that's not depressed, a healthy brain. So, I mean, I disagree with that, to be honest.
You can feel. You can feel some level of depression when you're going through stuff, but after it, you'll be just fine.
Yeah, that's now situational. Yeah, but there are those who there's clinical where it's just their entire lives.